Hi, welcome to drillingcontractor.org. This is Linda Shea reporting from the 2017 IADC Advanced Rig Technology Conference in Amsterdam. Joining me today is Robin McMillan, who serves as chairman of the IADC Advanced Rig Technology Committee. Robin, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So I understand that the ART Committee met the day before the conference started to talk about future work initiatives and plans. Can you tell us what were some of the key takeaways from that meeting?
Yes, well, we talked a lot about the way automation is increasing and therefore increasing the way the crew is going to be working on the rig. So that begs the question of what sort of training do we now need for the crew? What sort of recruiting? Should we recruit as we've done traditionally by hiring people and then promoting them through the different levels? Or do we need a different recruiting system? And also, therefore, do we need help from some of the academic institutions to identify the sort of characters that we're going to need?
So I understand that the Drilling Control Systems Subcommittee is starting a new project to digitize the daily drilling reports. Can you tell us what's driving this project and what are some of the goals?
Clearly, the traditional report that we've used has been around for many, many years, and it served its purpose, so there's certainly no criticism of what we used in the past. But now we have a lot more data that we want to capture, and certainly operators will be requesting that. And then there's also the fact that there's now other factors on the rig that we're going to want to measure. So when we start to, for example, be asked to calibrate certain sensors on a more regular basis, where do we record that, and how do we record and pass that on to the operator? And also, how do we digitize the system so that when the data is stored, that it's available in a historian for lessons learned, and also for sharing. Data ownership now is clearly a hot topic. There are many sources of data now. Already there's a lot of data, and we need to make sure that we're making the most of the data we're collecting. But if you take a top drive as an example, clearly an OEM needs to see top drive data to be able to develop new products. The contractor needs to see the top drive data because they're running the rig. And there are many times when an operator will also want to see data of that nature. So data ownership and how we share data is certainly something that's a challenge, and also something that I believe the ART Committee can address in future.
And it's become kind of a tradition at the ART conference to poll the attendees on issues around automation. What were some of the key findings from this year's poll compared to previous years?
It's interesting. I think there was a time a while ago that we thought that perhaps the Holy Grail was a completely autonomous rig. And it's clear from the reactions we're getting now to some of these questionnaires that what's happening is that we're now fine-tuning automatic systems so that we have autonomous sub-processes, and that stringing those together, including the human in the loop. So as we've discussed, clearly there are things that computers can do better than people, particularly repetitive, finely tuned processes. But there are also more intuitive issues where the human in the loop will perform better. So I find our challenge now is to find the best combination of those two. And I think the reactions that we get into the questionnaires are reflecting that is also becoming more of a collective idea also.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Robin, and telling us about the ART Committee and the ART Conference.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. And we'll see you next year in Austin, Texas.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.